Some of them I learned from my grandmother, like the vaginal steam baths. Those are traditional. Those come from the sweat lodge, the way sweat lodges were used to warm the matriz and to cleanse the vagina. After when we lived in cities and the sweat lodges were no longer applicable, no longer accepted in cities, we adapted the culture and we used it. We used vaginal steams. And it's still a really potent way of cleansing the womb, cleansing the vagina, balancing hormones, and releasing pelvic floor tension. Another modality I use that's also traditional is womb massage, abdominal massage. And womb massage or abdominal massage is really good for acomodando la matriz, to accommodate or position the womb back to where it needs to be. So a lot of us, especially in Western culture, we believe that a tilted uterus is okay. And folks will go to their fertility doctors and they'll say, oh, I have a tilted uterus. The doctor said I had a tilted uterus, but I'm on fertility drugs because he says a tilted uterus has nothing to do with my infertility. Mm-hmm. When in our worldview, it has everything to do with infertility. Because if your womb is not aligned, your creative force is not aligned. Your feminine vitality is not aligned. And so when we put the womb back into place, we're releasing tension in the pelvic floor. We're increasing the hormonal feedback loop that happens in between the ovaries and the pineal gland. And we're allowing our bodies to relax, and we're connecting. We're also cleansing because our womb is one of our main detoxifying organs, and there's a lot of lymph nodes in this abdominal area. Okay, I could talk forever about womb massage stuff. Another modality I use is herbs. Are herbs. I don't know how to spoke English. And it's alright, huh?
It's hard either.
I speak LA. And so I grew up using herbs, and I thought they were pretty cool, pretty normal. I didn't really value them more than the everyday person until I became pregnant. And actually, Laura, you were the first one to give me, besides my grandma, to give me a box of red raspberry leaf tea.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have it like all the time. And not the same box.
Well, you got... I keep it forever.
Yeah. Nuzzle it. Yeah. And so when I became pregnant, I started to really value my body because there was another person inside of it. And I was like, oh, now I have to be extra healthy. And I felt like I was healthy before. I never took pharmaceuticals. I ate healthy. I cured myself from any feminine complaints naturally. But it was really a deeper experience being pregnant and then becoming a mom and being like, I want to live forever. I want to live to see my grandkids, and I want to die when I'm 130. So using the base of what my grandmother gave me for herbal knowledge, and then taking that and experimenting, allowed my family, especially my little brother, allowed me to experiment on him when we were kids, and he had a different sickness every week somehow, headaches, cold, insomnia. And I was 14 and he was a few years younger. And so I took all of that knowledge from when I was a teenager, gardening in my own little apothecary in my room, and I used that. And then I realized that a lot of the stuff that I did I couldn't use because I was pregnant. So I did a bunch of research, and I found all of the herbs that were safe for pregnancy and lactation, and then I extended it to early childhood. And then I incorporated that into my doula practice. And then my doula clients also wanted me to give them sobadas, So I was their herbalist, their doula, their sobadora, and little by little I built a practice that I call Indigemama. And that practice has brought me here today. I just gave a whole weekend workshop in, what part of
Berwyn.
In Berwyn?
In Berwyn. Weren't you in Berwyn?
I don't know. I don't know where I am. At some wellness center in Chicago. The greater Chicago area. I don't know.
Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Say that.
Chicagolandia.
It's not Chicago.
And so I gave a 3-day workshop there called Matriz y Concha. And in Matriz y Concha we learned herbs for feminine health. We learned how to locate our wombs and our ovaries. We learned the significance, like what is your womb? What is it and what does it do anatomically? What does it do for us energetically? And what's its role throughout our lives? Not just during pregnancy, not just before we get pregnant, but from we come out the womb until we go to the tomb. You know? What's the role? Yeah, it's cute, right? It took like an hour to make up. Still working on it.
Regular people are testing fun.
So, that's what I've done here, and I've been seeing private clients. I leave tomorrow at 5 a.m. Otherwise, I would offer you all massages. So please let me know what we can do for our class, our interchange today. Since I don't know anybody, almost no one, we're going to go around one by one and we're going to say our name and then one thing we're hoping to learn while we're here.
Hi, I'm Alexi. Most of you guys know me. Something I'm hoping to learn, I guess, just to like learn how to take care of myself properly, like without medicine and artificial things, I guess.
Cool. Like take care of yourself properly, like if you have like a cold or a yeast infection or what?
I guess, yeah, just like body-wise, like to make sure that I'm healthy, not different ways. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Hi, my name is Maribel. What do to learn? Well, you said something about the floor pelvic. I never heard that term until about 4 months ago when my doctor said, oh, you have floor pelvic dysfunction. So, yeah.
Wow.
So this is the first time I've heard of that from, besides a medical term.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm interested in.
Cool. Pelvic floor and hormones. Okay.
I'm Stella, and I think as I drink this agnica, right, somebody told me I want to learn more about the herbs and healing homeopathy.
Cool.
I'm Gina. And I'm open to all the learning. I think I'm the oldest one here. Pretty sure. So it's beautiful, to hear your introduction and where you come from and the learning, and I see you as a younger person, but especially starting with your grandmother, it's ancient learning, a lot of years of wisdom and stuff. So I'm happy with that. Personally, and I think it does take a lot of time. I used to practice more herb cures, like what you had talked about, and certainly when I was pregnant, the very same instinct. It's like you gotta just keep it as pure as possible. Like not breathe. If a truck's going by, with all that smoke, or just get out of the way. And personally, I do have after childbirth the incontinence, and and I've heard like here in the Western tradition that some women, like they have I don't know what they do. I think they operate them to like they say they'll put their uterus back in place, you know, but I don't
Like
think
a
about
mesh.
things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but if there is other, you know, knowledge about that, that's one related close issue that I have.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Thanks for sharing.
Not cool.
It's cool for me.
It's business for me.
Also, just, I think that's a good time to say, is like, I think for us that, you know, many of us spend a lot of time together, around our collective work in life, and, but we haven't had a lot of, any experiences really talking as well about things, so this is really cool. So true.
It's so true.
Wow.
More events.
Sleepovers.
Party.
We're gonna like Skype you.
In my PJs.
Okay, I'm Jackie. So thank you for coming and doing this special little workshop for us. I guess like me, what I'm interested in is, you know, I hope to be like I want to be a mom one day. So like just like what are some things that I can do to take care of myself? Like I don't know how you know if you're fertile or not. Like how does that play? Like you know I don't know any about that stuff. So. I am. You're just gonna be so awesome. I don't know if there's like ways you can know. You know.
If
you know,
it sizzles, you're fertile.
Ask, like, are you gonna? I don't know because I was always irregular. My menstrual cycle, ever since I was always irregular. So I don't know if that's like a sign of like infertility. I've just always like thought about that. And one day I was, this is kind of like a weird story, but like one day I was in the laundromat and this like older woman came up to me and she touched my stomach and she told me that that I wasn't going to be able to have children. So it was a very intense moment because I didn't know if she was real. Like, so it's always been in the back of my head, like whether she was real or not. She said that someone gave me something and I was never going to have them. And, it was just me folding clothes in the laundromat. So I don't know if that was real or, so now I've been questioning a lot of stuff. So yeah, that. So just like learning about that. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that experience with us.
Can't top that.
I can top it. Come around.
Oh, I'm Maya. Okay. Well, I guess I want to copy what everybody else said. You guys said everything. But one of my, I really am interested in, or I do want to learn a lot more about herbs and yeah. I don't know what to say. Everybody said everything. Everything that they said. I kind of have like an equal balance on all of them because I'm a Libra. No, but I do like all of them seem like as equally as interesting to me. It's for real. It wasn't a joke. Yeah, we know.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. Jackie told me about tonight in class. Literally like a few hours ago. And I was really interested to come, one, because I don't have friends, so I don't
know what you just got
You don't want these friends.
Well, I'm from LA, so, being in a new city, and I've been meeting a lot of guys, but they don't want to be friends.
Right.
But I was really lucky to meet Jackie. She's in my program, and I feel like we have a lot of the same views and ideas about things, so we've kind of connected. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you all for having me. And I was just really interested to, come in here what, is going to be discussed tonight, but I think it's something that's really important because my family's from Belize, so we very much so believe in homeopathic approaches to things, drinking herbs and, doing all types of sage burning and things like that. So that's something that is very important to me. I do the same thing, cover my nose when the truck passes by and things like that. I don't really believe in like pharmaceuticals and things like that. So I think this is really important. Also, we don't talk about, women things and female, our body parts and our organs, and they get sexualized so much. We don't, really think about them as our bodies and us having ownership of them and taking care of, ourselves. So I'm really interested to just listen and learn.
Thank you.
I'm Laura. Nice to meet you. Of all the years that I've known her, I have never been to one of her workshops. So shame on me.
She hates
We'll
me.
get it out of the way. But I think, just kind of hearing everybody, it's interesting because I'm like, wow, I don't really know shit about my womb. Like I don't really know. Like, I actually think I have an inverted uterus because I think my mom has one, and so she couldn't give birth naturally because we couldn't, And so, and I think I have one too. And I've also felt like there was always going to be complications for me having kids too. So I think, I feel like anything I can get, it'll be more than I already know, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But also, lately, in the last few months, I felt a lot of tension in this area.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get like nervous or anxious, it's like I can feel the tension right here. And even though my periods, they're regular and they're pretty consistent, I can tell when I can tell my process, I can sense it and feel it. But I'm like, there's a reason, maybe I'm not doing something, or maybe I don't know what's going on down there, and kind of like all that you're talking about, the realignment and things like that. Obviously there's something malaligned, and I've never, beyond like the pap smears and those exams, I haven't really understood or like known the effects of my life on my uterus, and generally I'm kind of like everybody else. I try to go natural. I would like to do painkillers that are natural because when my period comes, I go straight to ibuprofen and I don't care, and I got a one-track mind. And it works, you know what I'm saying? So, but I would like to get off of that. Like, if I can find something as effective, I would love to do that. So things like that, little practical things that they're just part of like my experience and just kind of what's on the plate right now. I don't even know what's going on, I don't have any idea.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Straightforward.
I'll be here all night, ladies. All right. So what I heard your interests are herbs, fertility, the pelvic floor, womb wellness, and what else?
Incontinence after.
Incontinence. That has to do with pelvic floor. I'll note that. Incontinence. Yeah, that has to do with pelvic floor. Okay. That's a lot. So how much time do we have?
Whatever you
Okay. You guys. You're gonna stay here, so you can't go nowhere.
Try to escape.
Yeah. Take a break if you want, but.
Can I have water, please? Alright. So, let's talk about womb wellness. Before anything, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just threw that one in there. Yeah, then no one said that. What? take notes.
Thinking the same thing. We're such students.
You could pass those.
I know, right?
I'm sure Jackie takes really good
What
notes.
if I put out my whole
Just
laptop?
email them.
I would email you the notes.
You can
Email
email
it
them.
to the ladies.
Yeah. We could post it on YouTube too, in the text.
Calm down. I have another notebook if anybody wants one.
I have paper and pen, so.
I think between the two of you, I think it's a pretty good number.
Alright, so in terms of herbs, so I'm going to talk about menstrual herbs for menstrual pains, just because that's freshest for me. The most fresh thing. So, 4 herbs that you want to have in your shelf if you have menstrual pains. Okay. 1, chamomile. Chamomile is warming to the womb and stimulating also. So it's relaxant. It's a relaxant. It relaxes your nervous system, but at the same time, it stimulates the muscles of your womb to contract. So you're getting contractions, basically womb contractions or movement without the pain when you take chamomile. Chamomile is also used traditionally post-birth to warm the uterus. And traditionally, there are traditions that are in Mexican folk medicine, and there are traditions in Mesoamerican medicine. A lot of times, when I say tradition, I think, my grandmother, that's Mexican folk medicine. German chamomile is not indigenous, so technically it's not used traditionally, not in the pre-Columbian medicine, but Mexican folk medicine, yes. The other herb is canela.
I'm doing well. I drink it like every night.
Good. I smelled it earlier. So canela is stimulating and warming also, and it's also a digestive herb. Any digestive herb is going to help you with uterine cramps. Okay. The other herb is ginger. Yeah. And these all have similar properties. All of these plants have similar actions in your body. So ginger is also a mild uterine cleanser, and it helps with circulation. Also, if you're on blood thinning medication, you shouldn't take cinnamon. Also, if you're going to go into surgery, you shouldn't take cinnamon within 9 days of your surgery. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is turmeric.
Oh, turmeric. I've
Yeah.
seen that the other day.
So you could take turmeric powdered in pills. If you know your cycle's coming up, you could start to drink the tea and drink the turmeric pills. Or you could have the turmeric in some type of fatty liquid, because turmeric is fat soluble. So with all of these herbs that I mentioned before turmeric, their constituents are extracted using water, and you're able to drink that water, that tea, and it'll have an effect on your body. But for turmeric to have its anti-inflammatory action in your body, you need to take it either in warm milk or in coconut milk, or with your food if you're having a nice fatty meal, or some powder with some coconut oil, because it's fat soluble. So different herbs have different methods of extracting whatever you want from that herb.
One question. If you combine the first 3, will it have a better effect?
Yeah, and you could add some red raspberry leaf tea.
Oh.
Because I love it.
Are
Because
you
I
the
love
same?
you. Yeah. Yeah, so when you use a blend of herbs, those herbs will work together in your body to give you results that are even better than using just one single herb. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can play with your herbal blends and, add more cinnamon if you feel like you want something more digestive. Or if you're feeling extra stressed, you would add more chamomile, because that's a nervine, it calms your nerves. So just playing with the portions.
And what about like, is it better to have it like more loose or in packages? Does it make a difference?
It does make a difference because the packages, the herbs are already ground. So when you grind an herb, it loses some of its volatile oils. It's not that much worse, but I like loose leaf better. Yeah, but you know, either way, as long as you're drinking the tea.
Yeah.
Well, how about that compared to even like the chamomile as flower, the canela yam, whole, the ginger root, and then I was just reading the other day about turmeric root. I didn't know it was a root.
Yeah, and then if you're making them together as an infusion or as a tea, you would want to do the canela first and the ginger first. And if you're adding turmeric, then the turmeric first. Because you are supposed to simmer woody and thick herbs. You're supposed to simmer them. Versus, usually we make an infusion, we pour the water over the tea bag, or we pour the water over the tea leaves, and then we wait with it covered, and then we drink it. But I don't know if you, like your family makes canela, they keep it on the stove cooking, and that's a method of decoction. So that's traditional herbal knowledge, the way our families make canela. They brew it through decoction versus infusing it.
So the turmeric, if you take turmeric capsule opposed to tea, and then having tea, does that counteract, or is it recommended?
What do you mean? If you take the capsule? You can take the capsule, but just swallow a spoon of something fatty like whole fat yogurt or a scoop of coconut oil within 20 minutes. Yeah. 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 Within 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So other herbs for uterine wellness and for feminine wellness and vitality. One is nettle, ortiga, and now what? It's chichicastli, like a short little spiny herb. Because it has little spikes on it, if you touch it, it hurts.
What was the Spanish?
Nettle, ortiga.
Ortiga.
Yeah, and it grows, I hear it grows crazy in the Midwest.
You just suck up.
No. Try not to go outside right now.
Oh.
Just wait till the nettle.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'll wait till the nettle comes in Cali. I'll just do that. So nettle, and you could eat those as greens, like spinach. You could make like a little consommé or a little blended soup out of it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of garlic. Or you could make it as a tea. Some people juice it too. Yeah. Some people juice it. So nettle, another really nutritive herb, and an herb that's detoxifying to your blood is alfalfa.
Now there's controversy with alfalfa, right? They say that, I love alfalfa and I eat it all the time. Sandwiches, but they say have the bacteria of it is toxic for us as well.
I haven't heard of bacteria.
Salmonella.
Oh, some of them had salmonella? I don't think all alfalfa has salmonella.
No, not all, but there's like they say it's a high risk of it. And like I said, I love it.
Are you talking about the alfalfa sprouts? Yeah, so I'm talking about the alfalfa herb. Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I would think that would be, as far as the sprouts would be like if you're buying it from somebody else that makes it, you can make your own. You wouldn't be controlling.
Right.
That's true.
Because if they sell them and they're traveling and they still put money on as fresh as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between, like, so is the herb is just much later in the...
The herb is just later, yeah. So any sprout is just a seed before
so
it gets
but
to
it's
be
the
a
same.
herb.
They're in the
Yeah.
same
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So nettle, alfalfa, dandelion. Dandelion. It's one of the 5 top nutritive plants on earth. And there are so many weed killers. It's ridiculous. There's so many people starving, and we're over here spraying Roundup on our, or whatever weed killers we use on dandelions.
And how do you, like, in tea too?
Yeah, you could do it in tea. You could eat the greens, chop them up, saute them with a little bit of onion and other veggies. Or you could juice the greens. You could...
Dandelions, like dandelions?
Mhm.
The
Complete
leaves.
fresh one?
The leaves though.
The leaves?
Oh,
Yeah, not the flower, the
Okay.
leaves.
Yeah, not the...
Not the puff.
No, you want to blow those.
Oh,
If you do.
Spread them
Spread
around.
them, yeah,
and
spread
then
them
the
around.
rest there.
It's an investment. Yeah. So the leaves are a really good kidney cleanser. Yeah. And then you could have the leaf as an infusion. If you want to do the root, you could do the root, and that is brewed by decoction, the same as canela. And we would take that as a liver cleanser. And both stimulate bile production, which helps with digestion and helps us break down fat. They're also really high in nutrients. All of these herbs are nutritive herbs. High in minerals, anti-cancer, selenium, B vitamins, vitamin K, some of the fat-soluble vitamins. Lots of good nourishing stuff in these herbs. So we mentioned the root is good for the liver, and we want a nice healthy liver because our liver is the house of our hormones, and it binds with our hormones. It binds with our stored hormones. It binds with estrogen, so that it has chemicals that bind with estrogen, so that estrogen can leave our bodies via our digestive tract without reabsorbing into the lining of our intestines and giving us estrogen dominant conditions and cancers.
This is the dandelion root?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What are estrogen dominant conditions?
Estrogen dominant condition examples are PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's cysts in your ovaries. And what happens is your ovaries are in charge of excreting estrogen. Why do you get nervous looking when I say ovaries?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of something.
She's all frozen. Yeah.
Stressed out.
She's stressing over something else. Good, alright. Your ovaries are good? Alright. So our ovaries are in charge of excreting estrogen every month. And when they excrete estrogen, there's a loop that happens where that message comes up to our pineal gland and gives a message, hey, I sent estrogen into the body. And then there's a communication that says, oh, okay, got the message, now stop. And it goes back down, and that's called the hormonal feedback loop, right? And so when that loop happens, your body will be excreting an okay amount of estrogen. It'll be fine. If not, if the message doesn't get here, what happens, sometimes, we live sedentary lives. Sometimes we don't have a lot of circulation in this area, lack of exercise, inflammatory foods, inflaming the area, wombs being dropped, pelvic floors being inflamed, things that cause stagnance in this area prevent that hormonal feedback loop from happening. And so the estrogen is being pushed and pushed and pushed by the ovaries. And what happens is that when you have too much estrogen, things like cysts and growths and irregular cells begin to happen in that area. Yeah.
So it's reversible then, because like I see a lot of patients who come to me for like weight loss, and they're like, I'm trying to get pregnant, and that's why the provider sent me to you to help with weight loss. So it can be reversed then if you like lose weight, or not necessarily weight, but bring some mobility to that area, then it'll reconnect.
Yeah. So our body systems are very adaptable. If we are living sedentary lives, our bodies adapt. If we add exercise and healthy eating, our bodies adapt. Our bodies can recover from almost anything. Probably anything. Bodies are cool.
I'll be back.
That's all I got. I ran out of material, ladies. Just go home, everyone.
Hashtag that if you want.
Hashtag bodies are cool. That's bad. So bad. Oh my god. So we talked about nettle, alfalfa, dandelion. Another nutritive herb I gave you 4 herbs for the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do 4 and 4. Milky oats. Dun dun dun.
How do you spell that?
Milky.
Just like milky oats?
Yeah.
It's 2 words?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to spell milky.
Oh, then you want to say milky? I'll show you milky.
Oh goodness. They don't know what's like.
This is what happens when I don't get paid, huh? And so milky oats is an adaptogenic herb. So adaptogenic herbs are great for giving us an extra kick to adapt to any situation that we're in. Yeah. So, if we need to feel relaxed and calm, or if we're having a little bit too much stress, milky oats will help us adapt to the situation that we're in that's causing us to feel stressed and to regulate our stress.
What's that look like? So
It-
picturing like avena.
It kind of does.
It's some kind of
You've
that.
probably seen it. It's a wild grass. It grows on a long single stalk of grass, and then it has a little oat the shape of an almond, but super tiny. It looks like a weed. You've seen them for sure, or maybe not in the Midwest. I don't know. But in Cali, they're in like abandoned parking lots. Yeah, on sidewalks, backyards. I grew up here. I grew up with just yeah.
Yeah, I'm going again.
I heard that the botanical is there a botanical garden or something, or a nature preserve? What is it?
There's a few. There's a few.
Oh, there's a few. Yeah, well, I heard that one of my students from the weekend said she goes there and gathers all her herbs. She says she's stocking up for the winter.
Is that legal?
I know.
I don't know that.
Where do they let you do that?
You gotta hook up?
I know.
Well, maybe, I don't know if the one up north, the big one, what's all the outdoor stuff.
Big Ten, the Chicago Tennis, yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, it's so big, you can't even check on people.
But we have sanctuaries, like, natural speech that they have also.
Oh, yeah.
Herbs in there, and just don't bring me back to the hub. So it's just shopping.
We should have like a shopping field trip.
Yes.
A JC party.
People do it for mushrooms, why can't we do it for herbs?
I don't like that. Sure. Wait, so do you eat that like a winner or when you do it?
You make it like a tea.
Okay.
Yeah, the infusion. Infusion, yeah.
Good, she got.
You can, and all of these herbs you could also just soak. I don't know how your summers are, but you can just put them in a jar and leave them on a ledge and just make sun tea, and then when you get home, just drink it.
We have nice summers.
Yeah, yeah. I know how your winters are.
Not even winter.
No, I don't. Oh my god, I don't want to know how your winters are. This is winter for me. I'm kind of happy. Oh, winter.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's better.
This is fall for us. Herbs.
Love has learned that this is pretty good.
Yeah, I can still
Yeah.
walk outside.
Just scared.
Just come back.
Yeah, I kind of want to come back. I kind of do want to come back. Yeah. All right, so anything else before we move on from herbs? So the first set is if we have menstrual cramps, and the second set is just overall for your womb, for nutrients and providing sustenance to yourself and to your womb. And then also red raspberry leaf tea. I think we talked about that earlier, about it being a womb tonifier and a nutritive herb. Okay. In terms of womb wellness, one of the most important things is having a clear abdominal area. So if you have a clear abdominal area, your womb is less likely to drop. When our wombs are dropped, or our bladders are dropped, it creates tension in our pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor is made up of over 24 different muscles, and it's like a little mesh like this, in like this area, kind of like the area that Michael Jackson grabs. Like all that is our pelvic floor. Sorry if I'm being graphic. I'll be proper. And so all that is our pelvic floor.
I know what you're doing. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson has a pelvic floor. So it's from your symphysis pubis, your pubic bone, and your coccyx in your back, your lower back, your tailbone-ish area. From here to there, and then also all around your hips. All around your, cadera. Your pelvic bones here. So, if you have pressure on this area, you're going to have a pelvic floor that can distend, it can atrophy, it can even, as it's being pulled down, it can become lax if you kind of spend too many years with an overstretched pelvic floor. So it'll take a lot of work for you to bring elasticity back in your pelvic floor by having added weight in this area.
Like lifting everything?
Yeah.
Like how do you stretch out your pelvic floor? I don't know.
Yeah, so how do you stretch out your pelvic floor? So one, having a dropped womb. So if you have a womb that's out of place, automatically, our womb should be 2 to 3 fingers below our belly button and 2 fingers above our pubic bone. Okay, it should be in this area, in the center.
How do you know if it's dropped? I'm sorry.
Take off your pants, y'all.
Yeah, show everyone. No.
Should we do 2 to 3 fingers? What?
Below your belly button.
Okay.
And above your
Depending on the
There's
size
2 markers
of
in
your
there.
abdominal area.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. And what is it? Can
2 to 3 fingers on your abdominal area, under your navel, and 2 fingers above your pubic bone.
that be like
Mm-hmm. right there, right in the center. Sometimes it's tipped to the right, sometimes it's tipped to the left, sometimes it's tipped back. And if it's tipped to any area, if it has, if it's not aligned properly, it'll cause pelvic floor tension. So if a womb, for example, is tipped back this way, it's going to pull your pelvis forward, right? And it's going to pull your pelvic, it's going to cause pressure on your pelvic floor in the back and then make this part tight, right? Because it's going to be like pulling it back. If you have a womb that's tilted to one side, you're likely to have spasms on one side of your pelvic floor or your lower back, and you're likely to have an inflamed area here in general. So your ovary will be inflamed, your pelvic floor will be inflamed, you'll have congestion, your descending colon that's on this side will be inflamed, and you might even have problems with eliminating because of the swelling.
Like peeing or shitting?
Sometimes peeing, yeah. So the descending colon is here, so this would be defecating, but also peeing, because your womb sits on top of your bladder. So the top of your womb rests on top of your bladder. And you could tell the difference between your womb and your bladder, because the bladder is like a soft little bag, just like how you would imagine a bladder would feel. That's how it feels. And then the womb is a hard muscle, and you could tell the difference. When you push down, it'll be hard, and when you push down, just right under it, it'll be all soft and squishy. And so the womb could weigh down the bladder, causing frequent urination, recurring UTIs, even things like vaginitis and candida overgrowth. If there's stagnance in that area, you're going to have discomfort. And if there's pressure on the bladder, you're going to like sneeze and pee a little, have to run to the bathroom, not be able to hold it. That's pressure from the womb.
So that's your womb kind of dropping or something.
Just your womb dropped, weighing down your bladder, and it can push down your bladder, and your bladder drops, and the pelvic floor drops. Then stuff happens like incontinence, just overstretched pelvic floor, back pain, digestive issues, because if everything is down here, then your colon doesn't make its natural shape, but it starts to go down like this. And if it goes down like this, it's going to have to work really, really, really hard to do that peristaltic motion to move everything down,
So how do you know if your pelvic floor is like stretched or dropped?
Low back pain, incontinence, tightness, overstretched. If it's overstretched, that means you've had years and years and years of having a lax pelvic floor and overstretched pelvic floor.
Can you do yourself, like find out where exactly your womb is, and then also whether or not it's like what kind of shape it's in? You can? Oh yeah? How? I think we're all dying.
Sorry, it wasn't on the list.
I know.
Okay, so we could do it.
Do you guys want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, go. Okay, let me put this on.